Ibrahima Konate, should he have been sent off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Nah, carry on. Why?
2 bookable offences.
Yes.
Really easy. On a weekend where Ashley Young gets sent off for it, Kanji was it for Manchester City for almost exactly the same thing. He knew what he was doing. He tried to make it difficult for him to get past. The break was on for Everton. It was 2 yellow cards. He should have been sent off. Sound.
One's gone in our favour.
It's weird, isn't it? How I do wonder.
And the fact that Klopp just turned straight round to Matip and went, fucking get up, lads. And because that just pissed them off more.
Well, Konate was
just
pissing
glorious.
himself as well, laughing 5 minutes later, like pissing himself on the bench. That would have, the blue fume would have been rife.
Well, it was
perfect.
It was, yeah. The Klopp substitution really compounded the whole thing, didn't it? And it was like Dyche, that was what Dyche was hottest about. Of like, he knows he should have. That's why he's taking him off. And look, I
get
thought,
the big book. Get the big book.
Get your quill.
Bottom ink. Blue ink.
Make it blue. Honestly, the big book of Everton Injustices. Check it out from all great blue retailers. They had a new chapter every single season. Klopp doing that did absolutely enrage them, because I think Dyche used it as almost evidence to suggest he felt he got away with one, and I think that's right. I do think they were going to make that change anyway. I'm not sure. I mean, Klopp turned round to the bench and went, wah! Like he screamed at Matip. He screamed at probably John Achterberg, whose job it is to hold the ball up. Like, hurry up, you pricks! Get him on! Fair play. Look, he's got that opportunity to do that. If that was a pre-season friendly, he wouldn't have been booked, and you'd have gone, do us a favour, take him off, mate, because he should be off anyway. I contend though, Chloe, and it's weird to say this because we've seen a lot of this idea that referees kind of like to level things up, but I do wonder if I think the referees have been told not to send as many players off, which sounds mental because 4 red cards got given out on that one day in the Premier League on Saturday.
Thus proving that they can't follow rules.
No, exactly. But I think he was trying.
I think is the problem with the refs in this country, to be honest.
I think they were trying their best to try and fly beneath the radar a bit. And I honestly wonder whether Young being sent off actually almost helped Konate in a weird way, because I don't think he wanted to preside over a football match that had 2 red cards in it somehow, because I can't see any other reason why Konate doesn't get sent off, because by the way we're interpreting all these things, not one of us looked at either of them and went, he's stopping the guy running through. It's an obvious yellow card.
Maybe that's the case, but therefore they're not actually doing their job then. Your job is to just give the decisions what they should be, and Konate should have been sent off. It's that simple. Like, there's people who say the more I watch it, the more I don't think it's a foul. It's a foul. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. He knows what he's doing in that moment. And I think we've got maybe one person behind him. And to be fair, Beto doesn't really have loads of support, and maybe that helps Konate at the fact that they've got 5 men at the back. They've gone a 5-4-1 or a 5-3-2, whatever it was. And because, what was it?
So they had a 10, weren't they?
Oh yeah, so sorry. 5-3-1.
Yeah.
But it's just a foul. It's a yellow card. It's cynical, and I'm fine with it, because for the past 3 weeks people have been telling me to just get on and that referees make mistakes. So I'm now going to give you that exact same vibe. Everyone, these referees are incompetent. I think you should just really get on with the mistakes. They are human after all, and humans all make mistakes. And if you really want to fight it, all you need to do is get them suspended for next weekend. But don't you worry, they will be back again, so you might as well shut the hell up. But yeah, he should have been sent off. He wasn't. Craig Pawson has done a madness. But also, if we'd have been 10v10, it wouldn't have helped them, because Sean Dyche would have felt like, I've got to go for it now. I can't sit here being, level terms in terms of players and not try and get something from this game. And in terms of doing that, did there be more spaces and the counter-attacks would have been on time and time again?
And we're boss with 10 men.
Yes.
More importantly, I just want to have a general chat though, Dan, just to kind of move this forward, because I got a message from my cousin about it. It was around the Ashley Young stuff during the game, and he was like, what are they trying to do with all this? Because I don't think both the yellows and one of the Konate one plus the one that he didn't get, we can all sit here and go, I can see perfectly legitimately why you get a yellow card for that, because that's the way footy's gone. But at the same time, why have the rules gone that way? Because this is getting worse and worse in football. Football is not a more violent sport. There's no more. 5 years ago, football was not like, didn't have this rash of just horrendous injuries. It wasn't like brutal game sport by any means. So, like, what are they trying to achieve? Because they're effectively making it easier for players to be sent off, and I don't get what the point of that is. Unless are they trying to add the drama? Does it just go back into they're trying to create a world where there's more respect, or they're trying to take certain challenges? Do they want people to take tactical fouls out of the games? That what they're trying to actively discourage? Because that for me is part and parcel of the whole game of stopping your opponent getting through. And I'm not. It's weird. I don't mind. I'm accepting of these being yellows, but I'm not sure how I've become accepting of yellows being handed out.
Yeah, it's a strange one, actually, isn't it, when you really think about it? But it's almost as if at some point in the last, 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons, those became yellow cards, and they've always been yellow cards thereafter. It's like one of the refs maybe decided that you just can't do that anymore, and they're sort of carte blanche. Every single referee has gone, oh, actually, yeah, he's right. You can't do that type of foul. But I wonder whether, in terms of sort of an explanation, I wonder whether it's coming with sort of the rise in popularity of the DM, and that's the type of foul that they commit all the time. We've seen Fernandinho get away with them forevermore for Man City, of course. But I think maybe now that position has become so pivotal, and they're the fouls that they commit all the time, they've become more common in the game, perhaps. I'm not quite sure, but you're right. There is just an acceptance now, and it's even from a fan's perspective, and certainly from referees one, and the players one. They almost, as soon as they drag someone back in the halfway line, they know straight away, don't they? It's cynical is the word, you used it earlier, but for me, I can't remember a time, but they sort of in the past 5-6 years where they weren't just yellow cards, the most straightforward yellow card ever.
I don't remember my entire life of growing, no, but in my mind they were. I mean, that's just because I'm younger.
I was thinking about this because you mentioned this to us on Saturday, I think, and I sort of came to the conclusion that it was like, maybe it's just they don't want so many stoppages in football. And I think that the way that the game's gone, technically everybody are just better players and stuff, and now because of that there are more and more examples of players trying to stop the game and not go for the football. And actually when you look at both yellow cards, I've got more of a problem with Ashley Young's second being a yellow card than his first, because there's no genuine attempt to make the football in his first challenge. In the second there is. Yeah. And that's the one where I go, when did that become a yellow card for just being slightly late?
This goes into this thing. I always turn my nose up at ideas when you throw totally outrageous by the existence of football concepts out. So when people say like the orange card, for example, or they talk about sin bins, I immediately balk because I just don't want anything rugby involved in my sport, you know what I mean, as much as possible. But the more and more you look at that, it's not violent conduct, really. You know what I mean? No one was injured. There was no goal scoring opportunities, clear cut, denied. You know what I mean? It wasn't sweeping someone's legs out when they're clean through. We all know those challenges we've seen. They're very few and far between is what I'm driving at. Nothing about those, like, all you're effectively doing by sending, and this is me defending the sending off of Ashley Young, by the way, is like, all you're doing by sending Ashley Young off for that is making it determining the flow of the football match and actually ruining the flow of a football match. Whereas, I don't know, I've never been keen to say, well, stick him off the pitch for 5 minutes and that's your advantage, and then he gets to come back in. But half an hour into the game is irreparably changed, probably for the worse. And again, we won this, so I shouldn't be sat here really complaining. A win's a win in a Merseyside Derby, fucking laughing. But if he's punched Luis Diaz in the head because he's lost it, send him off and don't let him come back. But those little accumulative fouls to change a game on that just seems, I don't know, it feeds into the pettiness of how games are being officiated for me. And that's just stupid. Kicking the ball away and getting sent off for kicking the ball away in a moment of just stupidity. That's not losing your head and breaking someone's leg. That's you've kicked the ball away. It's like, I don't know.
It's wasted as much time as a goalkeeper wastes on a goal kick. Every goal kick. Like, it's not actually in the grand scheme of things, especially with multi-ball. Like, you kick that ball away, great, pass the other one. Yeah. It doesn't really make any difference.
The whole thing it just feeds back into this weird, like, school teacher trying to be really pernickety over every little thing because of what are you achieving by it? You know what I mean? You're creating a bunch of rules, and the more rules you create, the more holes there are in those rules. Now, I'm talking about potentially making more rules or changing them, but have a think about what those rules are meant to achieve. What does that really?
Honestly, I do think it's the flow of the game. I think it's to take out the challenges where people aren't making an attempt at the ball. And I've got no problem with that. I think if you aren't making an attempt at the ball, it is a kind of cheating.
Yeah.
Because you just know you're too late, so you're doing whatever you can.
Yeah.
And that's why I've got more of a problem with the yellow card for the second one, because that is a yellow card. Should it be? I don't know.
Well, I think that's a good point because you're right. They're the ones that have drastically changed. Is if you're making a legitimate attempt to play the ball and you miss, is that an instant yellow card?
The ball if Diaz didn't put his foot there last minute.
Yeah.
And so his foot was in a perfect position to take the ball away. And all the attackers know is, I don't actually have to control this and keep it in. I just have to get my foot between their foot and the ball, and it's a yellow card. And that's where you go, actually, over the last 15 years, that now has changed almost unrecognisably.
And this is the thing, we're not talking about, because it's something we talk about in the car, they outlawed the tackle from behind after Paul Elliott's had his leg broken and had his career ended. And you watch, there's a great video, and it's Graham Lasseau watching his England performance. I think they played Brazil in like the 90s, and he's watching it back, and you can find it on YouTube, just search like Graham Lasseau reacts to something like that. It's been years since I've watched it. It's brutal. He'd have been sent off in 3 seconds if that was played in the modern game. That's different. We've curbed that now. But you're right. It's putting too much stakes on legitimate attempts to win the balls off. I just think it's a bit mad. I mean, and we've had bigger issues with refereeing in recent weeks. But do you guys have any thoughts on it? If there's anything you would actively change, or do you think it's fine as it is ultimately? Yeah, let us know.